NASA has recently communicated a renewed approach to the exploration of Venus, inspired in part by earlier findings that suggest the possibility of life on the planet. These findings trace back to the 1960s, a time when Venus was widely considered to be a highly hostile environment. At that time, the United States was prioritizing Mars as the main destination for space exploration, largely due to competitive pressures during the space race. Despite Venus's harsh conditions, the Soviet Union boldly chose to explore it, launching a number of ambitious missions while the US concentrated on lunar expeditions. Astrophysicist Neil deGrasse Tyson has discussed the Soviet missions to Venus, drawing attention to newly declassified images captured during these ventures. These missions were conducted under an umbrella of secrecy, typical of the Soviet Union, which often withheld information involving its advanced intelligence operations and potential extraterrestrial encounters. Before NASA assumed a leading role in planetary missions, the Soviet Union dominated this area, with Venus referred to by them as Venera being a key focus between 1961 and 1983. The Soviets launched 28 spacecrafts toward Venus during this period. Of these, 13 successfully entered the planet's atmosphere, and 8 managed to land on its surface. The first spacecraft to make this attempt was Venera 1, also known as Sputnik 8 in Western circles, launched on February 12, 1961. Chakching-C. Approximately 1,400 pounds, Venera 1 was a sophisticated probe equipped with technologies such as space stabilization, a magnetometer, and micrometeorite detectors. However, its initial launch failed to escape Earth's orbit, marking a significant setback. A subsequent attempt succeeded in flying by Venus in May 1961, becoming the first spacecraft to do so. Unfortunately, it failed to transmit any data. Launch of Venera 2 followed on November 12, 1961. Despite high hopes, the mission ended in failure due to radiator issues that caused the spacecraft to overheat and veer off course. These problems were well recognized by Soviet scientists, who understood that solving the issue of overheating was crucial for future missions. This led to a series of follow-up missions, Venera 3 through Venera 6 in 1966, which provided valuable insights about Venus's extreme conditions and helped refine spacecraft designs. Venera 3 was the first human-made object to crash on Venus, although it did not achieve a soft landing. The subsequent missions still faced technical challenges, yet each offered incremental scientific progress. Venera 4, for example, fell victim to the planet's intense heat and atmospheric pressure, but not before collecting 90 minutes of critical data, including the high concentration of carbon dioxide and the absence of a magnetic field on Venus. As the Soviet program evolved, Venera 5 and Venera 6 marked a turning point by successfully descending through Venus's dense atmosphere and transmitting data for nearly an hour. These findings conclusively showed that Venus had an extremely inhospitable environment, with high temperatures, immense pressure, and an unbreathable atmosphere, effectively dashing Soviet hopes of finding life on the planet's surface. However, interest in Venus took an unexpected twist. Declassified documents and photographic evidence from these missions suggest a change in research focus after Venera 5. Rather than seeking evidence of Earth-like life, the Soviet Space Agency began exploring the possibility of astrobiological entities. This indicates that Soviet scientists may have been ahead of their time in evaluating the potential for Venus to host exotic forms of life. Until as recently as 2021, humanity's understanding of Venus's habitability was limited. It is conceivable that the Soviets were awaiting further technological advancements to capitalize on their discoveries. This is supported by the successful landings of Venera 7 and Venera 8, both of which marked significant achievements in interplanetary exploration. Despite the immense technical obstacles, these missions succeeded in capturing high-resolution images of Venus's surface, which further deepened the Soviets' curiosity and shifted their focus from creating life on Venus to exploring life elsewhere. Neil deGrasse Tyson, a staunch advocate for the search for habitable worlds, lauded this change in direction during a discussion with astrobiologist David Grinspoon. Tyson speculated that if life once existed on Venus's surface and found it increasingly uninhabitable, it may have evolved the ability to migrate to more temperate atmospheric layers. He even raised the possibility of floating ecosystems or cities existing in Venus's atmosphere, particularly in the regions where phosphine gas has been detected, phosphine being a potential biosignature. While the concept of floating cities may seem far-fetched, the crucial idea is that life might still exist in Venus's upper atmosphere. Today, scientists are extending their search for extraterrestrial life to exoplanets, but the discovery of phosphine on Venus has reignited interest in our neighboring planet. Studying atmospheric compositions could be key to identifying habitable environments elsewhere. According to Tyson, the phosphine discovery marks a pivotal moment, sparking a new era of exploration interest in Venus. Though colonizing the planet remains unfeasible due to its toxic atmosphere, Venus's geological and potential biological history is still an alluring frontier. Declassified photographs from the Venera 13 mission suggest potential encounters with living organisms. Dr. Leonid Xanfomality, the principal investigator at the Russian Academy of Sciences Laboratory of Photometry and Thermal Radiometry, revealed several intriguing findings from these missions. After reviewing panoramic images from Venera 13, his team identified 3 objects with possible biological characteristics. These images remained classified for decades, possibly to prevent U.S. interference, given NASA's greater financial capabilities. Venera 13 had landed successfully in the Phoebe Regio region of Venus, surviving for a remarkable 127 minutes and capturing detailed surface images. Upon re-examination, Dr. Xanfomality described 3 particularly curious features. One appeared to be a disc-shaped object that reacted to environmental changes. Another resembled a black elongated structure, visible for 13 minutes before altering. Its shape and the most intriguing, an alleged scorpion-like creature, were spotted around the 19-minute mark. These findings, though controversial, have stirred renewed interest in the potential for extraterrestrial life. With these revelations, Russia's space agency Roscosmos is now planning a comprehensive mission to Venus, aiming for a conclusive exploration by the year 2029. The goal to thoroughly investigate Venus up close and assess whether life, perhaps very different from our own, might still exist in its shrouded skies. Thank you for watching today's exploration into Venus's mysterious past and promising future. Be sure to subscribe, hit the like button, and turn on notifications to stay updated on even more captivating content coming soon.